we started off the year with an excellent January. So let's get into it. Hey, welcome everyone to the apartment. This is Real Boring Flips and I'm your host Kevin, and we're going to go through my January solds. We had a great start to the year. January is normally not my best month of the year, and partly because I am usually distracted with a couple of other things going on, namely preparing for tax returns, my own tax return, and then for a side business that I have, and then also for, in addition to my own taxes, the reselling portion of my taxes. So usually January is kind of wiped out, and usually I just am not getting a lot of interest from buyers. But I started something this year where I was making sure I was listing at least 5 items a day. Now, I was gone last week, so I just wasn't able to do that. I didn't even have time to do end and sell similars. But I have been very consistent with listings, and I've got another video that I actually started filming yesterday to cover all the new stuff that's come in. So keep an eye out for that. Just a tremendous amount of great new stuff, in addition to the stuff that I've told you about that I'm picking out of my own pile of stuff that I bought and just never listed. So combination of that stuff. I know you're interested in what we sold, but before we get into that, I want to share with you what I'm enjoying. And I'm really going to be enjoying this because this thing is massive. This is a Death Row Records Happy Dad hard seltzer grape flavor. I might even throw some Skittles in here. What the heck? But this is massive. This is going to be good. And we're going to get right into it here. This came from Grocery Outlet. Yep, it almost tastes like cough syrup. So we had, just to give you a summary of the January sales, we had 47 sales, which was really nice. That's right in there with my 1 to 2 sales a day, which is what I'm targeting. Our average sale price for these items was $61.57, which is really good because my average purchase price is never that high. And after fees, my net for the month was $2,500. Now it's actually a little bit higher than that because I've already showed you that typically I am gaining a little bit on the shipping. I try to not lose, but typically I gain a little bit on shipping. So probably $2,600, maybe $2,700 would be my net for the month. So pretty good. That's really a target of mine, is $2,500 a month net. And for the time I have allotted to doing reselling, that's a good amount for what I put into it. So I'm meeting some good goals. I'm going to track those numbers throughout the year and see how we go on a month-to-month basis. But let's get right into this. I want to show you what sold, and then we'll talk a little bit about why I bought the items in the first place. So we'll go do that, and then we'll come back and finish this up. So hang on. So we had a great month, and I'm just going to go through by date everything that sold. This first item, a Radio Shack antenna. This is kind of what would come with a shortwave radio that Radio Shack or Grundig or Sony would sell. This one was a Radio Shack model. I pick them up wherever I can if they're cheap enough, which they usually are, less than a couple of dollars in this, and got a couple extra dollars on shipping. This bat, I actually ran into another reseller in the Goodwill, and he mentioned, I never sell bats, and I said, well, TPX is one that you can look for. This was a Louisville Slugger TPX. Not the best, not a high end, but that's a good place to start when you're looking at bats. I think I paid $15 for it, and I knew I'd get a good amount, and a couple of dollars extra on shipping. This Canon digital camcorder, this was actually mine. We bought this for a trip. It was much smaller than my big Sony 8mm camcorder. I'm sure I paid over $150, probably $250 for it when it was brand new. So I won't have to pay income tax. That's the benny of selling your own stuff. And I did get a couple of dollars on shipping. This toy car Jada. I wasn't familiar with Jada. When I picked it up, I only paid $6 for it at Goodwill. It had some damage. It was missing stuff, and at first I thought, well, probably shouldn't get this, but I comped it in the store and was shocked to see what happened. Mine sold instantaneously, so I'm sure I underpriced it. I could not find another one like it, and the buyer was happy with it. I had bought a whole set of these Genius Girls books, the first episode, the 12 volumes of the first episode, and the first volume of the second episode. So I sold this second episode single book, and I paid $10 for the whole set of, I think there was 13 books altogether. So I got my money back on this first sale, and you'll see a little bit later I sold some more. When you're out looking at estate sales and there's just a big pile of cords, I always look through them because you never know what you'll find. When I find stuff like this and I'm paying pennies for stuff because I'm buying a lot, I throw those into the pile, and I also got about $4 extra on shipping. I don't buy these books. They're like Time Life or whatever. These were the old Western books. These came with some other books that I bought. I bought a whole set of Louis L'Amour leather edition, and these came with them, so I wouldn't have bought these on purpose. And incredibly difficult to ship, but I finally just got these out, took an offer, and was happy to see them go. I recently got this Lego Star Wars set, and it was open, but all the stuff was sealed. My son really wanted this. I was determined to sell it. I think I paid $13 for it, so I had some money into it. But I was happy to see it go and got a couple extra dollars on shipping. So this was a textbook. Amazon used to have a textbook rental, which was great because college textbooks are so expensive. And I think this was my son's. And after he had rented it, Amazon ended their rental program. So they just said, keep the book. And I was able to list this, and it sold quickly and about $3 or $4 extra shipping. So I was happy to turn on that because I don't remember what we paid to rent it, but we certainly didn't pay that much. A couple of years ago, I had a great estate sale. It was quite a ways away, and I think I drove for an hour and a half to get there, and came home with a carload, including a wide inkjet printer, Canon, like a pro style inkjet printer, and a bunch of rolls of paper. And so this was one of the rolls. I've got a couple more, but was surprised when I finally decided to list this stuff. I was surprised at how valuable it was. So this Jemmy lowrider car, I bought it a while ago, paid about $8, and it didn't quite work. It's supposed to make sounds and has some motion, but the motion didn't work. So I took it apart, and it just needed a little bit of help with getting the motion to work. I think it had just sat for a while, and I did double check it before I shipped it out, and it was still working. So kind of a neat little car. I kind of held firm on my price for a while and finally took an offer. So I recently, several weeks in a row, I was going to my Goodwill on Monday mornings because I was able to work out my work schedule, and got several kitchen appliances, bread makers, food processors, juicers, blenders at the $2 sale, and this was one of them. And I spent one day, just got everything listed, just for the bread machines, basically just the pan and the paddle. And so $2 into this, that was a good flip, and I've got a couple of other ones listed. So here's more of the Girl Genius books. Now I broke that first episode into 3 lots. This was lots 2 and 3, so I still have lot 1, but I made quite a bit back. I only paid $10 for all the books, and I got about $5 extra each on these for shipping. This Mr. Coffee iced tea maker was brand new in the box, and I never looked at this stuff before, but flipping junk on YouTube really kind of changed my mind on stuff like this. And so I really have been looking for iced tea makers. I've sold several, but this was brand new in the box. I paid $13 for it, got about $5 extra on shipping. It sold quickly. I don't normally buy CDs. This was sealed. I paid $3 for it at my local Goodwill, and it eventually sold. I just don't buy that stuff. This Iowa portable CD player. I used to buy portable CD players all the time too, but Goodwill prices them up, and they're usually beat up. So I don't remember where I got this one. It probably came with a bunch of stuff, or maybe got it at a garage sale. I don't know. I've had it for a long time. It finally sold. Got $5 extra on shipping though. So I had this Wowee dog. I think it was Chip the dog, and I thought the dog worked. I charged it up and it did stuff, but turns out the wheels on those can go bad. There's a drive gear that breaks on them, and it's a pain to fix. So I didn't even bother with that. I just stripped all the usable parts off, and it sold quickly as soon as I did that. And I had $15 into it and made about $3.50 extra in shipping. So here's some more kitchen appliance stuff. I sell a lot of these pulp bins. I could retire if I just had a steady source of Jack LaLanne pulp bins. These things sell great. I got $2 in, and these always sell for my asking price, and a couple extra dollars on shipping. This boombox, I've sold these before. Nice little, this isn't the normal. This was a DVD player boombox. This one also did karaoke, so it would play CD plus G and SD cards, and I think it even had USB connection. So it was a little fancy. I had $25 into this, and I had it for a while. We were actually using it when it finally sold, and I'm a little bummed because the buyer, I took an offer, then the buyer messaged me, said they couldn't get SD cards to work, and there wasn't a remote, which that wasn't in my listing. And I sent them information on how to make the SD cards work because it wasn't really obvious. You had to see the instructions. So I sent them screenshots of the instructions and a link to the instruction manual. They didn't respond, and then they gave me neutral feedback and said they weren't happy. So I just don't understand this. I don't understand people that can't just communicate. So here's some more kitchen appliance parts. I've sold latch sets before for these Hamilton Beach juicers, so I was happy to see these sell. I got basically under $2 into this, and I got about $4 extra on shipping. I bought a couple years ago at a garage sale, actually an estate sale. I got a Kenwood Chef, kind of a food processor. It basically was like a big I don't even know what these are. I don't even know how to explain what you see today, because I just don't see them anymore. But a big blender kind of thing, but with tons of different attachments. And turns out these were really made in the UK, or popular in the UK, not so much in the US. So fortunately all the parts and pieces, pretty much all of them, were in the box, and so I've been able to sell these regularly, and I don't have much into this. I've sold a bunch of this stuff already, and really have made good money on this initial investment. I still have a little bit left, but happy to see one more piece go and another $10 extra on shipping. I got this Logitech Harmony remote recently at my local Goodwill, and I think I talked about it in a recent video, but paid $15 for it. It was brand new in the package. I knew it was going to sell, and it sold quickly, extra $5 or $6 shipping. More food processor parts from this one from a Hamilton Beach food processor. I just took the entire top off the motor and sold that. So I had $2 into this. Didn't quite get enough for shipping though, so I had to pay a couple extra dollars. So I don't buy a lot of Scrabble unless they're special. So I've got a special, I think it's Super Scrabble, listed right now. This turntable edition, really nice condition in the box, came with a set of board games that I got when I bought the Dark Tower game that I did a video about earlier, or last year. Got a bunch of games. I really was only buying the Dark Tower game, but anything else that was in there that was sellable I was going to list, and this was one of them. This was a good item. So I got this Batman, it's actually a puzzle, but one of those 4D puzzles. I talked about this in a video as well. I thought it was brand new. It looked brand new until I got to the very bottom of the box, and the actual puzzle was open. All the 4D stuff was sealed. So I was still able to get a fair amount for it. I only had $10 into it, and I got a couple extra dollars on shipping. More refrigerator stuff. Another item. This was a bigger piece, hard to ship, but making a big dent. I'm going to put up a screenshot of where we are with paying for our brand new fridge by selling parts of our old fridge. And I got about an extra $10 on shipping. One more Gemmy item. This was a new in the box Road Rage toy that I talked about in a recent video. I paid $6 for it. It's I was concerned because it was new, sealed, but it had batteries in it and it wasn't working. So I ended up taking it apart, pulled the old batteries out, cleaned everything up, put new batteries in, and sold it that way, and it sold quickly. I look out for these kind of vintage Hitachi massagers. I've sold a few of the single-headed ones. This was the first dual-headed one that I sold, and my buyer was really happy with it, as you can see, and I bet she was really happy with it. I don't buy these little Bose speaker sets anymore. They just don't. You just don't get very much unless they're in the box. I paid $15 for this pair, and just didn't. I just don't buy these anymore. Stay away from this stuff unless you get it for much cheaper than I got. I did get about $4 extra on shipping though, so that helped. I don't buy these either. These Sony kind of desktop or tabletop radios. They're kind of cool. You just don't make much, and I think I had $13 into this, and actually ended up paying a few dollars, $4 extra on shipping. So I really didn't make hardly anything on this item. But I was glad to see it go. More juicer stuff. This another piece of the Jack LaLanne juicer, and every so often I sell some of this stuff, pennies into it, and a couple extra dollars on shipping. This waffle maker you saw recently in a thrifting video, I knew this was going to sell. I knew I'd make some good money on it. I had $13 into it. It was really nice and clean, and I would have kept it, but we already had one. So what do you do when you have electric blankets that either quit working or they're dirty and you just nobody wants to use them anymore? They're hard to clean because they got cords in them. You sell the cord that goes with it, and that's what I do. For some reason we had a bunch of these, but I also look for cords like this when I'm at estate sales and they just have a bunch of random electric cords in a box. I look for stuff like this, and I also got almost $10 extra shipping for some weird reason. So you heard me talk about these magazines. This was the first set of these strategy military magazines that I got recently off Facebook Marketplace, and I've got actually three more boxes at least coming. So I'm really excited to see what shows up, but really happy to see some of these go. I got basically $100 into all the magazines, and I sold the first lot for $100. I don't buy these Linksys routers anymore either. I stopped buying any of this stuff unless it's very special in the box. So it's got to be a fiber modem or a fiber router of some sort. This is just your basic. I paid $20 for it, so way too much, but it did go international, so at least I'm guaranteed no issues there. More juicer parts, this time the feet off of a Hamilton Beach juicer. Crazy how much you can make parting stuff out. I paid $2 for the entire juicer and selling pieces and parts off of that thing. Really nice to see those things go. This Halo Mega Block set, the box was damaged, but the contents inside were sealed. I only paid $6 for this, and it sold quickly. I was happy to see that, and got a couple extra dollars shipping. You saw me talk about this. I've talked about this several times, but I had a special video where we tested it together to see if it would turn on. And I was going to sell it for parts because for one of those reasons, but I was able to at least confirm that it would turn on, and I paid $116 for this and sold it for $350. I did undervalue my shipping, so I'd pay an extra $15 shipping, but that was fine. This Bob the Builder doll, I don't know when I got this, long time ago. It's been listed for a long time. It finally sold. My kids love that show, and they could probably still sing that song. So one more set of magazines, another set, $100. I've actually sold a few more sets since then, but really making good money on those military strategy magazines. I was so happy to see this game sell. This was part of a board game haul video where I went to Goodwill like 3 days in a row and got such great board games, but the first day I got a ton of these brand new strategy games This was the best one by far. I paid $10 for it. It sold for my asking price of $500. I did pay extra on shipping because I insured it and actually double boxed this game. So here's this magazine. I talked about it in a video. It was sealed, and after I sold it, I'd gotten a bunch of questions from other people asking about maps and whether or not there was a map included, and I didn't know if there was a map included, and I tried to get my buyer to cancel so I could see if there was a map included. I only had a couple of dollars into it, and just this one magazine of that whole lot of magazines I got sold for $50. I don't sell these printers anymore, but I do sell the power adapters for them because they sell for good money. This printers just never sell. So pennies into this and a couple extra dollars on shipping. This HP, look for HP gear. I mean, any kind of test gear, HP, like that spectrum analyzer that I sold earlier. This stuff is great. And it's not too hard to test. So this came when I bought an entire room at an estate sale that was just loaded with this kind of stuff. And it finally sold and got $10 extra on shipping. This Heath kit, I don't remember where I got this, but I did get a bunch of stuff like this at that same room sale that I bought the whole room. Heathkit's another great brand to look for. I even look for just the user manuals for Heathkit stuff and Hewlett-Packard stuff. That stuff sells great as well, but this, I probably had $5 into this, and it sold quickly. And here's this final item, is another set of those strategy magazines. So I've actually sold another set since this, so I'm $400 into this $100 investment, and I'm still going. So I'm actually $450 in on my original $400 or $100 investment. Really happy with those. Can't wait to see what's in the new 3 boxes I'm getting. That was a great January, great bunch of sales. Really happy to see a lot of stuff that I'd had listed for a long time sell. So I think my focused effort on getting regular listing is helping with that. I think my stuff is getting seen, and so I'm going to keep that up. Being gone, I was gone for a week on vacation, so that kind of derailed me a little bit there, but I'm getting back into it. So let's get back into the rest of the video. So that was a great overview of things that sold. I didn't cover quite everything, but a great overview of what sold and in some cases why I bought those things in the first place. I like to at least kind of share with you some of my thought processes on why I buy the things I do, just to give you a little bit of insight on the types of things that I'm after and really the types of things I enjoy selling. So really excellent month. Excellent start to the year. Hoping this continues to increase as we go along. I've shared before, this is my final year of working my career day job. So hoping that I'm able to kind of coast right into a larger amount of time available for reselling towards the end of the year. And so I'm mixing in a little bit of improvements that I'm working on, and which I typically do on an annual basis, but just little things. I'm trying to tweak my operation to improve how I'm doing things so that I can be as efficient as possible in buying, listing, shipping, and make. I don't want to make this reselling job a new crappy job. Not that my day job's crappy, but we're going to end up that career and start on this a little bit more time available for this new venture. So thank you everyone again for joining. I work on the value for value model, so thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching videos and liking videos and sending comments and sharing videos with friends that you think might enjoy this. So appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. That really helps. And as always, send me comments. I love reading those. I love interacting, and like to hear your thoughts on the video and maybe something captured your attention that I said or you saw. So I'd love to hear about that. But as always, join me again next time.
Real boring flips.